right, it's 7 p.m. I'm going to call this meeting to order. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, has everyone had a chance to act upon the minutes, read, hear, consider? Questions? No. All right, we'll approve the minutes as is.
Let's go up here for a minute. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Bill.
Loud and clear.
All right. I'm at a lacrosse game, so I'll have it on mute for me unless I need to talk. Okay.
Can you?
Need them.
Stretch those corners and tough world do it for you.
I'm ready today.
So mute
Getting close, right, Mark?
Yeah.
Trying to push through.
Very light. Yeah. Yep.
This has been
And
the
we're
hardest part for the last couple of months.
Yeah.
Is it because of it being state road? Is that what complicates it?
A little bit.
Red tape.
All right, so any public input, any other emails?
Just the ones that were included with the package that you had against the dog park issue, or the dogs on the beach, which the person that is
She's not coming.
is not coming.
Okay, perfect. And then we have Mark Barnard here for the bird scooter update. Hello, Mark.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Good.
Could you just state your
I will.
ad name and address?
Mark Barnhart, Director of Community Economic Development for the town. As some of you or many of you may already know, the Board of Selectmen at this month's meeting did authorize a shared scooter program with Bird Rides. It's a 12-month pilot. We hope to start the program by the end of May. Be seasonal, likely. For those not familiar with e-scooters, it's Bird is one of the many providers, but they work with communities of all sizes, including smaller communities like Fairfield, and can manage fleets of commensurate size. So they, unlike some of the other major providers, will manage a fleet of 50 to 75 scooters, which we think is ideal, at least to test the concept of whether or not there's demand, interest, and what are the operational issues we need to be concerned about. It's a dockless model, so you kind of pick and use as from riding it from point A to point B where you need it. Most rides are typically 10 to 15 minutes in length. It's really those short distances where people avoid using a car, maybe a little bit further than they would care to walk, so they can use the scooter instead. There is a fee. Bird charges $1 for the scooter. They'll provide 20 cents as revenue to the town for each ride, and then you pay based on per minute, a 49 cents per minute charge. So again, in a 10 to 15 minute ride works out to a $6 to $8 fee or charge for using the scooter for that purpose. The reason I wanted to bring it to your attention is we think that this is primarily downtown or in the area south of 95. You obviously probably see some scooters going up to the university, but the other popular destinations we would think would be beaches, parks, train stations, things like that. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention. If you weren't already aware of it, we'll be running this program. Obviously, be cognizant of any issues that you encounter throughout. The police department was involved very much in terms of setting up the program. I talked to Anthony and other departments as well. Police department is going to be our point of contact and liaison to the scooter company. The other thing that sets Bird apart is they have a local fleet manager that's responsible for daily servicing the e-scooters, recharging them on a daily basis, and repositioning them so that they're always in service. So the idea is if they're in some place that no one sees or no one can get a hold of, then they're not making money for the company either. So it's really in their best interest to put them in places where people want to use them. So it'll take a little bit of time to figure that out. but we do have a local fleet manager that then we can use as our point of contact to make sure things are going well. So, any questions?
Yeah, you mentioned you're working with the police department.
Yeah.
How so to prevent theft?
Well, these are all GPS enabled, and the theft, I mean, I'm sure that things do go missing, but they have a tracking device in them. That's also how they can, we can set geographic limits in terms of the service area, so they just stop working once they go beyond the area. So that'll kind of be, you know, people will be discouraged. If they pick them up and try to take them someplace where outside the area, they won't be able to use them. So I don't think that'll be a huge issue. What we expect is that people, it's always user error, right? So while they do put a high emphasis on safety education and ensuring that people use them appropriately and park them in locations where they're supposed to, people don't. So that's why we have a local fleet manager and we have the ability to then follow up on some of these things. So that's really what we're looking at before we set a whole regiment regulation scheme, just to see how it works for a year, and if people like it and works well, then we'll re-up it. If it doesn't, then we'll move on and do something else. So, yes?
Do they run 24
No,
hours a day?
there's thank you for asking that. They run 5 a.m. to 12 midnight is the operating hours. People, and then they'll be picked up and brought back to their house.
Is there an age cutoff?
You have to be 18 to operate, because you'll have to provide, you know, some evidence of age, but more importantly, you have to provide a proof of payment at the time. So,
Well, it's app-based, right?
It's an app-based.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would prevent a parent from doing it and then their child is using it?
I'm sure that'll happen.
Yeah.
You know, there's only so much they could probably put into the system, but I'm sure there's workarounds with that. But you're supposed to be 18 to rent and operate.
Maybe this is a question, right? Did they talk to you about sort of some model of how many they want to leave in the beach area at the
There will be
parks,
there will be none at the beach area. There won't be a nest there. Do we know the specific nest locations yet?
No.
But we know the beach will not be one of them. We requested that. We assume people will go to the beach, but they'll eventually get picked up and back.
At the end of the day at the beach, they're going to be picked up and moved
Yeah,
away.
correct.
Yeah.
Taken back to the nest.
Yep. Bring back to the nest.
Where are the nests?
We don't know yet.
Yeah, they would have, and I'm not sure that they'll eventually have as formal a system for that, because I think what they'll have to figure out is where people want the scooters, so that's where they'll locate scooters so that people can pick them up. A nest is just like a collection of like 3 or 4 or 5 scooters in one location. That's what they call them. But they'll be located within the public rights of way and the furniture zone, you know, so they're not blocking the pedestrian thoroughfare as well as a business access. And again, based on our experience working, we've talked to a number of cities that have these in place, and, you know, there are always issues.
Now, does BlackRock, I know they have a system down there.
BlackRock is also using Bird as well, so we did talk to Bridgeport, and I think Derby and Naugatuck are the 4 with us, or the 4 communities that have Bird, using Bird right now in Connecticut. We also talked to New York, Oswego, New York, and Gastonia, North Carolina, and a few other places just to see how things were working for them. And you know, we had a favorable response from all those communities.
I use some in San Diego. I think they're great. Very convenient.
I've been to San Diego too, and they are great, except that there are so many scooters in San Diego.
There's a lot in San Diego, yeah.
So, but anyway, I'm sure if issues do arise during the course of the year, we'll hear about them, and don't hesitate to let through Anthony know, and we'll keep track. So, just wanted to make sure you guys were aware before these things started showing up a park near you.
Well, just to be clear about that, so if the public starts raising issues, this was happening, Anthony's the one they go to?
No.
Sounds about right.
Or is it someone in the selectman's office?
I'm sure that I'll get them. I'm sure that First Selectwoman's office will get them.
Yeah, but who is the point person?
The police department.
Okay.
Evan Caseman has been designated their point
Trying to
person.
save you.
I appreciate it.
The reason we thought that would be appropriate is because the PD, provides kind of a 24/7, 365 coverage. So if you're going to get complaints in terms of operational issues or illegal use of it or something, they're probably going to call the police anyway. So but we'll all be involved, I'm sure, getting calls and hopefully positive feedback.
Hopefully.
Is this seasonal, Mark, or year round?
Yeah, very much. I don't think there are going to be people using this in January.
Yeah.
Very hardy soul. But thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to act on new business. Next up, we have Lori Steinhauer. She requests to have a memorial bench installed at the boat ramp in memory of her husband, Kurt. Lori?
Yeah.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. No, I had spoken to Justin about this.
Would you just state your name and address for the record, please?
100 Charter Oak Road, Fairfield.
Thank you.
And we still have a boat down by the marina. And my husband passed away June 10th, 10 years ago. So in honor of his 10-year anniversary, my kids and I wanted to do something to memorialize him. And one of my sons scored the benches. He's seen them down by the marina. So I spoke to Justin about it, and he showed me an area in the back where they launched the boats, where it would be a nice place to have something like that. My husband loved the water and, was an avid boater. So, we thought it would be a perfect spot. I believe there's a picnic table right there, so it would be a nice area. I know the front, where all the docks are, those benches are all, filled and taken. But so I know the parks do it, but we thought the marina would be, the best place to do it. And so hopefully, I was hoping you'd approve it.
Yeah, no issues with this. Justin, like she said, has been in contact. We know where it's going, and it fits perfect.
All right, open this for discussion. Anybody? Anybody care to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. All right, we have a motion on the table and a second to approve the request for a memorial bench installed at the boat ramp in memory of her husband, Kurt, down where the boats are launched.
May I ask a question before?
Yes,
you
please.
go? What's usually your reason for saying no? So this is only my second meeting, so there was one bench last meeting, and then this one.
Congestion, most likely.
Yeah, and we try to head that off before it even gets to
That's
this
what I was
stage.
wondering.
Yeah, so just for example, I'm not saying this happened, but she may have requested originally to be down near the fishing pier and completely full down there. There's no way we could put another one. Or like she had stated, on the other side of where the docks are, again, those are all taken and full. So yeah, we would work with her and say, hey, that's full. Maybe there's another spot, and we found one. Then it comes here. So typically,
And Jen, when it gets usually to this point, it's already gone through the process where it's kind of
That's what I was wondering.
rubber stamping it.
Yeah,
For the
okay.
most part, they've done the.
I was trying to not use that phrase, but I just wanted to.
They've done the due diligence on it for us.
Okay.
Okay, let's take it to a vote. Jamie?
Individual vote?
No. All right.
Spot, but yeah.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That was Bill.
All right. Okay. Bridget?
I'm a yes.
Brian?
Aye.
All right. The motion passes. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and
If you would reason just because I'm here, so that's kind of
you
like,
can touch base with me, and I can.
You can do either.
I'll email you the flyer, but then we can coordinate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is an easy
Yeah,
one.
so the
All
sooner
right.
you can get me the contact within the 6 months.
Yeah, 'cause I wanted to.
next one withdrew for tonight.
All right.
Samantha withdrew?
Yep.
No,
No, okay.
Stephanie?
Stephanie, sorry.
All right, Samantha Moore here.
Okay.
Hi, Samantha. Samantha requests that a toy storage shed be installed at Veris Park. Has everybody gotten a chance to read the email?
I can give the quick background, or you can.
Yeah, either.
Big name and
Okay, hi, I'm Samantha Moore. I live at 270 Edward Street with my husband, my 3 kids. My youngest is 3 months old, so this is a big night out for me. But we go to Veris Park all the time because it's super manageable with multiple kids since it's such a quiet area and you can see everyone. And in the past few months, people have started leaving toys there, which was really fun for the kids, and they all really liked it. But I guess a neighbor complained that it was messy, which, like, fair enough, it was. So we thought a compromise could be to put a toy storage shed or box, kind of like there is at Jennings.
Mm-hmm.
But,
perfect. That's perfect.
Okay,
Sums it up.
We'll open this up for discussion.
So this will be provided by the town?
So I think we have one there. I think there was one on site already that we moved because there wasn't permission for it to be there. Mm-hmm. And this is something that happens not just at Vera's. We do have this occasionally happen at other neighborhood parks where toys are left, and then we've got to send the parks guys in to clean them up because the neighbor will complain. Mm-hmm. But, when we started going back and forth on this, we were like, there's probably a good compromise here, very much like the beaches where people were leaving beach toys for other kids to play with. Mm-hmm. We had one of the scouts create a structure at Jennings and a structure at Penfield. These guys already have a container. Kind of makes sense just to put the container back and make sure that they're keeping it clean.
Says, put the toys back or something like that. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal to not have the toys there, but like when you have 3 kids and you have bottles and strollers and little portable potties and like everything else, it's just really nice to have a digger and some shovels and things like that there, and the kids think it's really cool and exciting because it's not their toy, it's someone else's toy. And they're like, whose truck is this? Like, I don't know, go play with it. So it's just like a little thing that makes life just a bit easier.
Mm-hmm. Is there a designated spot in particular that you or your neighborhood people want?
No, it could be at any spot that was convenient to kind of be out of the way, but near-ish to the toy.
Yeah, I'll work with them on a spot and make it work.
Is it going to be just like the ones at the beach? Or?
No, this was more of like a Rubbermaid type like storage container, like a deck container.
Like a lock box or anything else.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not like a beach.
No.
Yeah, the toys that people leave are toys that I don't. If they got taken, they take it.
Yeah.
Right? But it's more about containing them and not having it be a hazard to the neighbors.
Do they close, or is it just like an open rubber?
It closes.
How large? How large is this box?
Gosh, I would say it's probably 3 feet wide, 2 feet, in depth, and thigh high. Typical like deck box.
Yeah. Home Depot deck.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's no locking mechanism on it?
We won't be putting a lock on it.
Okay.
Now, Park and Rec paying for this, or the town?
I will check out the one that they have down there that was donated, and if it's in good shape and deemed safe by our guys, then we'll keep that one. If not, we'll figure out a way to put one there.
And is there ever any responsibility assumed if the toys that are in there, a child gets hurt with them or anything like that, but because we provide something to contain the toys, does that put any responsibility on the town?
I don't think it puts any added responsibility. Town attorney, when we had a risk manager, they didn't have an issue with the beach ones.
Okay.
So I think we're in the same boat there.
I'm sorry, there's not a risk manager?
Not at the moment.
Oh my Lord.
I know that new slide at Old Manor.
You end up in the
It's
pond.
awesome. My kids loved it, but whew.
Where do you go to Highwood?
That was like 4 stories high.
When I was a kid, we burned ourselves.
And still went down though.
Yeah, of course.
Anybody try?
This is Bridget. I'd like to make a motion to approve this.
I'll second again.
All right, we have a motion and a second to request that a toy storage shed be installed at Veris Park. Take the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Bridget?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
All right.
Good.
Motion passes. Congratulations.
Awesome.
Brian's and I as well. Chris, thanks for remembering me.
Oh, don't tell my
We
husband.
got you, Brian.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
No, yeah.
Okay. All right, Adam Jacobson. He has a request to hold a park and recreation event on June 19th. Is that correct, June 19th? Yes. Okay, from 11 to 4 p.m. Is that Sherman Green?
No.
Where?
Town Hall?
Town Hall, okay. All right.
And this is the same information that you guys heard last month, so really 2 months ago.
2 months ago.
Apologize.
But is it switched to Saturday the 18th?
No, it's the 19th. It's
And
back
then
on the
switched
19th.
it.
Back.
So
Yeah.
Sunday the
It's
19th
back to the original 19th.
Okay, so I'm looking at an old one.
at Town Hall.
Revision number 7. No.
Where about the town hall?
They're going to be using the front of Town Hall, the normal green. They're going to use part of the museum commons, and if we have the soccer field cleaned up and repaired, we'll use that portion there as well.
Adam, why don't you state your name and address for the record, please?
Adam Jacobson, 241 Shetland Road.
Would you just tell us a little bit about the event and the history? And
Yeah, so I'm also a local business owner in town, 7-3 on Black Rock Turnpike, and as part of our community give back, we like to host these types of, we call them Furry Fundraisers, where we bring pet community and families together just into a free community event where we have activities for the dogs themselves, little kid zones for kids and their families to get a little bit of reprieve, and just to bring that kind of community of animal lovers together in one place to just kind of celebrate our love for animals. And we use this as a way to also fundraise for nonprofits and other community organizations. And again, it's free to the public.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Open for discussion.
So if you said it's a fundraiser, if it's free,
I pay for it, and I allocate and distribute proceeds down to nonprofits and local organizations.
Got it. Then which nonprofits? And
Adopt a Dog is one of them, so they're an animal nonprofit. Parks and Rec would be a beneficiary, the Chamber of Commerce, and then possibly Operation Hope, maybe Al's Angels, some other local, really impactful community organizations as well.
Okay.
Now I'm just reading through what you wrote here. I see Dogtown, Dog Spot, Doggy University. I'm not familiar with any of those.
Yeah, that one.
Explain a little.
Yeah. So
Just out of curiosity.
Okay.
Basically, we have a couple activities that are self-contained for animals themselves, a lure course and a radar run where dogs can actually run, and we use an actual police radar and give them actual citations with their speed, and it's kind of a fun thing. Again, it's meant to be part of the intent is to have something for people to do with their pets as well. We do have caricature artists, face painters, bounce houses, other things for the kids. We do have food trucks available for people. We do our own ice cream parlor where we actually have ice cream sundaes for pets that we give away, and our bone bar, which is just another, we have our tuxedo-clad bartenders, and we have little treats and stuff that we stuff into bags and hand out to people who bring their pets to the event. Some of these other activities like a sniffari, it's literally just a scent course that people can walk through with their pets also and do that kind of stuff. Then we have lots of premium pet food vendors that I work with that come and just give free swag, talk to people about animal wellness and care and stuff like that.
Sounds like it's going to be a dog day afternoon.
And you mentioned furry fundraisers in the past. Where were those done? When were they done?
So I've been in business for 27 years, and we've been working with Adopt-A-Dog as an entity even before that for 30 years. So they have an event that's active that we participate and sponsor with them right on the water in Greenwich. That's been going on for 30 years.
Okay.
So it's an annual event there.
So nothing like this has been done in Fairfield before?
No,
Okay.
no. The one that would be closest, we also do a fundraiser in New Canaan. We do that on the Nature Center property. They're one of the main beneficiaries of that event. That will be more closely aligned to what this one is in terms of scale and scope.
And I know Galen was behind this. Has the police department been in touch?
Yeah, police, risk management, again, when they were here, yes.
Okay.
Everybody is on board with this great community event.
Yeah, I think this is phenomenal. I'll be there.
And are you doing any kind of tie-in to Father's Day? Is that the reason for the date?
That was the reason we tried to move the date.
Oh.
But I guess, that's what I said. Yeah, there are dog dads. I happen to be one of them, right? So I'm sure we'll try to make it a nice thing for people to do on that particular day with their family. After brunch or before barbecue or something like that. Just give people something to do on that day. Yeah.
Well, as a dog dad, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay. There's a motion on the table. Any more discussion?
Why, I just can't hear my earbuds.
All right, hearing no discussion, we'll bring this to a vote. So there is a request to hold a Parks and Recreation event on June 19th, Sunday, from 11 to 4 p.m. at Town Hall. There's a motion and a second on the table. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Brian?
Yay.
Bridget?
Yay.
Bill?
Yay.
All right, it's unanimous. The motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you
See you on the 19th.
I really appreciate your report. Thank you.
Have a good event.
Next up, we have Roberta Conrad. Is she on the phone? Perfect. All right, we've got Board of Education report. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's why it's cool.
So last time I reported on the $2.5 million budget cut to Board of Ed. Since then, the Board of Finance has had their meeting and fully restored that money. So our budget, the town budget is now before the RTM, and all departments have presented there, and so we await their vote next week, at which point we'll be doing our budget adjustments in May because we have had some line items that have to change, and so taking care of that then. We will be having student recognition, big meeting in the fourth week, I can't remember, the end of May. We'll be having a big meeting of student recognitions. In fact, we have so many students to recognize, we're probably going to postpone the Board of Ed meeting to a subsequent night and just have the focus on the kids. It's probably going to go for at least an hour and a half to 2 hours of all the recognitions that we have, because that includes all of our athletes as well. Because we've had a tremendous amount of winter and spring success, knock on wood that it continues, and so that will be a big night in May. Something that does pertain to Parks and Rec is, I can't remember if I mentioned this last time or not, but we did adopt a bylaw change back a few months ago, adding a facilities subcommittee. And so that facilities subcommittee just started to meet. They had their second meeting today. And one of the, obviously, a lot of it's talking about the buildings, but a very much prominent topic today was also some issues with fields and how are these being managed. We'd had an issue up at the Ward baseball field. Inexperienced crew drove, I guess, a truck all over the infield and then proceeded to leave. And so that I'm not going to give you the whole story, but it has been fixed and it is now beautifully sodded. The company assumed the responsibility for this. But they had a really good, thorough discussion, just clarifying how Anthony's involved with that, how we have outsourced it as well. But just it's nice that this new facilities committee is really taking a good look at the not just the buildings themselves, but the properties as well, and how Fairfield the town of Fairfield is reflected through its facilities. So that, meeting was today, and I was listening in on that on my drive home. And then finally, we are in the midst just as it's starting, of beginning our work for a new superintendent, which obviously is, important for the town of who we pull together for that. It's pretty much a super secret process, so there's not much I'm ever going to be able to tell you except that it's underway.
Can I ask you a question then?
Feel free, Emil.
Do you, would it be a national search, or do you look to hire within the town?
Well, yes, it's a national search. That can be from within if somebody from within chooses to apply.
You're not partial one way or another.
No,
Best candidate.
no. It's not like when you're, say, a teacher vacancy opens up and there's an internal posting before there's an external posting. It's not like that. We are going ahead with hiring a search firm, so they take care of all of the work of, really putting the recruiting out there, both within state and out of state. And if we need a 10th member, we're pulling in Anthony.
Oh, I'm in. I loved that process last time. It was great.
But so that's...
No, I liked it. I enjoyed those meetings at night, the secret meetings.
So that's about it. I don't know if there are any other questions.
Yeah, would it be possible to have a liaison from this board on the facilities committee?
Oh, yeah, great idea.
Honestly, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. It's kind of like when we
volunteer.
Okay, I was deliberately not looking right at him as I was talking about that. So I never even thought of that. I think it's a great idea. I don't know. I think we have to have a bylaw change to do that. But
Angela gave me the heads up that they were meeting today and what their primary issue was. So I knew at least that's what they were going to be talking about. But I think that would make a lot of sense. Granted,
even if it was in an advisory capacity, not a formal.
I mean, the only facilities that they oversee are the two high schools, but I don't think it would hurt. I mean, I was covering for Angelos essentially when he was out, when all that stuff happened at Ward.
Right.
So.
Well, and what I'd say is that even there's this constant. No one ever keeps straight what's Board of Ed property versus what's Anthony in charge of versus just us. So it doesn't matter that there's only two fields. The questions go to both of them all the time anyway.
Yep. And my hope too is it can just improve kind of not to say that we're not operating collaborative, but I don't know how integrated it's worked in the past. And maybe just improve that too, right?
No, I think that's a great. So I'll go back to the committee chair and just see about doing it. Are there by chance any volunteers who would be interested?
I would do it.
Outstanding! Yes, let me get back to you about that.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
Thank you for suggesting that.
Yeah.
Tug of war, whoever wins gets to get on.
No, I whatever.
Volunteered him. That's
I'm
great.
not trying to make this meeting.
Is it Sal who's helping you with that, or?
No, more Angela's part. George is really the one doing that. Sal's more with. Well, I'm sure there'll be certain building discussions where it'll be Sal who will be more involved with that. But and again, it would also be the sort of thing that there'd be some meetings where there wouldn't be a reason to because the agenda would be solely really building focused. But it's good that you got when outside knowledge is needed, it's valuable to have it there and to have that perspective. So.
He's a good guy.
All right. Any other questions? All right, next up we have the director's report.
All right, everybody should have received an advance copy yesterday. I apologize. I don't think last month I was here and didn't provide one, so I'm really sorry about that.
You were at a bunch of meetings.
Yeah, well, lots in this report. We're in the middle of all our spring programming. Registration numbers for lessons, programs, classes are all doing really great. As Jen just mentioned, yes, our fields are open. Pretty much every one of them at this point is open, groomed, lined. As I sit here today, I think we try to get our fields open for April 1st. That's what we shoot for every year. And I would say with confidence, the way this spring has gone, this would have been the week to actually open fields. Fields are now ready. They're dried out for the most part. You could prep fields, so you will see our guys were at Tunxus today, Lower Tunxus Hill, edging and amending with clay. They did I had them prioritize the high school fields first, so Kiwanis, Ward, unfortunately, they sent an inexperienced guy up there. But they did fix that. Owen Fish, and Lower Tunxus. So those fields got priority. Then we moved on to the 3 Little Leagues, Doogie Yellow, which we just completely rebuilt their infield due to a drainage issue. We rebuilt the infield at Mill Hill late last fall. We rebuilt, obviously, both fields at Gould Manor, and then we rebuilt some stuff and painted we did a lot of touch-up work at Upper Tunxus Hill. So felt really good about where all 3 of our Little Leagues were for their opening day, and I believe American is opening up this weekend officially. Gould Manor is 98% done or so. We've got perimeter fencing that needs to be still installed. We're still a few weeks out from that. The pickleball, tennis court, basketball all have opened up. They're all lined. They're surfaced. They're getting a lot of use already, which is great. A lot of positive feedback. The 2 baseball diamonds are getting good feedback. The fitness park has had some fantastic feedback as well. There will be new sidewalks going in on Crestwood, hopefully within the next week or 2. But overall, we still have to get the scoreboards up. We've been held up in engineering with those at the moment, but those will get in there as soon as we can. Playground installation, all the ARPA funding that we had received, we have replaced, I think at this point, 8 playgrounds. We just finished up Lincoln Park this past week. There might be some landscaping work that still needs to be done there, and the crew is over demoing and prepping Tunxus Hill this week. They should start installing the new playground there next week. And then that'll finish all our playground installations that we had the funding for. Still a ton of other projects going on. We just put out an RFP this afternoon for the turf field at Roger Ludlow Middle School. That is in anticipation that we're going to get the funding. I'm going to be presenting for the funding in May, provided it gets through the capital planning work group, which it seems they've been very positive about it. So that would put us on the calendar, hopefully for next week, to present that. It'll take a full month to get through all 3 bodies for the funding, but I wanted to make sure I had the RFP out and ready to go, so when the funding is approved, we can just get to work. We still have some tennis courts that we have to rebuild. Those are out the same RFP with the turf field, the Dwight tennis courts. Pickleball over at Tunxus Hill needs to be rebuilt. Those are unfortunately falling apart. But we'll get them fixed as quickly as we can, so they'll come offline for a little bit. So yeah, a lot of capital projects that we've been doing, and it's been a huge help to have that Parks Department, when we did the reorganization, restructuring, to have them under our supervision here, because I can lean on them, and like Doug Novak, our superintendent, he's the boots on the ground, leading the charge with every one of these projects, staying on the contractors and our guys. And obviously our guys are doing a great job, as you'll see them out there mowing and weeding and starting to do plantings for Memorial Day parade. So they're sprucing everything up. On the programming side, like I mentioned, everything's looking pretty good. I've got to give credit to the entire staff for hosting our first 5K over Easter weekend. We had a sold-out crowd of 600 runners that participated in the 5K. We had about another 500 or 600 that participated in the 1 mile fun run, and then again another 500 or 600 that participated in the actual 2 different egg hunts that we had on Jennings Beach. So it was a great day. The whole staff had to pull together to make sure everything went as smooth as it could, and Galen led the charge, and really proud of her and the leadership she showed during that one.
So the volunteers.
And the volunteers. We had about 40 volunteers that also helped out that day. So it was just a great community event all around. And
hey, Anthony?
Yeah.
I have a question. Regarding Lincoln Park, there were a lot of people at the last master plan evening who were very interested in what was going on with Lincoln Park. Were there any changes that, as a result of their participation, from what you anticipated we were going to do over there?
Well, the only change that we had was when they called me on Good Friday, irate that one of the structures was too close to a fence. So I showed up on Good Friday with our contractor, and we were able to work it out and move that structure to a different location and kind of redesign the entire playground from what we originally had. I'm planning on meeting that neighborhood group at Lincoln Park probably within the next 2 weeks. I really just wanted the playground to get finished and the weather to turn nice. But yeah, once I have their ideas, I'm going to relay that back to the master plan, BL companies who's doing the master plan, and they're going to try to incorporate some of those things into the rest of their Lincoln Park concepts.
Okay, so we haven't spoken to them because their concern was that, that their kids don't age out of the equipment that's there. But we haven't spoken to them. We haven't learned what they wanted to incorporate and employed that yet.
I have not had the official neighborhood meeting. I have had several impromptu neighborhood meetings with them and plenty of emails. But no, not the official meeting has not happened yet.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. And then just the last thing, and Jen had mentioned this, the RTM votes on our budget on Monday night. So we'll see what happens. So far, we've been lucky. I'm not going to fake wood here. But we'll see how it goes. And that's all.
Anthony, I got a question. What's Make Music Day?
That is I wish Mark was still here. It's a Mark Barnhart-led community initiative. Basically, it's volunteer music groups. Some are bands, some are individuals that basically set up at random places around town and play music for a set amount of time. So we typically use Sherman Green. We let them get a couple hours there. They've done Jennings Beach in the past. They do the skate park. That's a spot that they like to do. But then there's other businesses downtown that also will be locations.
Oh, okay.
It's a national thing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it almost like the Fairfield equivalent of Porch Fest?
Yes.
Okay.
It's similar.
I like that. Great.
Couple questions. The Lincoln Park thing, how are you advertising that that's happening? So
Well, apparently I'm going to knock on every door. That's what's supposed to happen with them.
Like, could you post a sign in the park?
So
this way, people who use it will see it, and you're not going to hear
I
after
am
it.
positive at this point I have talked to every neighbor there. I am positive that every neighbor is aware that there is going to be a community meeting over there. They have seen me in that park almost every day.
Okay.
Well, I think you got two Stratfielders here too who are going to be passengers, because I had those. I missed the meeting because I was traveling, but I got an earful at a baseball practice all about this. So I got
3 Stratfielders.
I got cut. Oh, you're Stratfielders?
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, I'm happy to tell the baseball crew.
Please do.
Anything you want to communicate, we'll just put it on the SBA Facebook page.
Perfect.
We got a lot of people there.
Perfect. So.
Again, you don't want to have it and then have someone say, I didn't know.
Oh, they're going to. I had a lady call me and ask me, what's going on at Tungus Hill Park? Where did the playground go? I'm like, okay, well, we've been talking about this for about a year now. I wanted to take pictures with my adult sons. That was their childhood.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 2 other quick questions. The Roger Ludlow turf, is that the same one you presented to Board of Ed 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, here we are again.
Yeah. And on the topic of turf fields, whatever happened with Burroughs? That was supposed to be a collaborative Parks and Rec, FUSA possibility there. Did that just fizzle?
Fizzled.
Oh.
Fizzled, and at the time, the FUSA leadership started joining with Fairfield Youth Lacrosse and Fairfield Youth Football, and it was Pop Warner and Wildcats when they used to have all that, and they had agreed that, you know what, let's try to do South Pine and Sullivan instead of Burroughs, because they have light. We could put lights down there because there's lights already, and we know we're not going to be able to put lights at Burroughs.
All right, thank you.
I read that we're going to be in charge now of Burr Mansion.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that in my letter.
So are we going to have to approve the events there and things like that?
Yeah, so that is a new undertaking for us. We have been taking over the management of the Burr Mansion and the events that are taking place there. So there are about 35 events on the books for this year. There are 10 on the books for next year. We're not booking any additional events at this time for this year or next year, so it's just what's on. We were able to keep their staff on board, so Allison, who's been the manager there, is still going to be the manager. She'll still run all the events. She's working with Galen for a seamless transition, basically. But the administration needs to decide what they want to do with the building going forward, starting in 24. If it's going to be weddings, great. We'll take that and run with it. If it's going to be administrative offices, which is a possibility, which it used to be, we need Brenda to make that decision and her team, and they haven't done that yet.
So we've got some time.
Yeah.
There's also an organized group of neighbors down there. I've gotten 2 calls.
Yeah, I met with them too. Good Friday.
They're very organized. I like the NBA.
Yeah. So I met with those neighbors on Good Friday. That was my first meeting of the morning. They had several suggestions on how we could mitigate the noise and their concerns. So we're doing our best to strategically place the bands and the DJs in that tent when it's outside, and we're going to do our best to try to put some kind of soundproofing in there. Unfortunately, the soundproofing material that we ordered isn't coming in until about mid-May, so there are probably 3 events that'll happen. First one's tonight, actually. Chamber of Commerce is there right now. There's 3 events before we'll have that soundproofing. And so I emailed that neighborhood group, let them know that, hey, it's back ordered. Let me know if there's any issues. They've been really good. I think they understand where we're coming from. They see that we're responding to their needs and trying.
That's all they're looking for.
Exactly. We're trying to make this work.
I mean, the noise ordinance is, 11 p.m., so.
Yep.
Hey, Anthony, one more question. So the decision was to move the playground at Tungus to the top?
No, we ended up having to keep it right where it is. There were too many underground utilities up top. So the DPW salt shed that's in the parking lot is going to slide over onto that grass on the right-hand side, and we'll end up picking up some parking there because they don't need to go into the ground for that. It'll just sit on top of the ground, and then they won't have to take it down and put it up. It won't be an eyesore like it is now. It'll be a little better hidden.
Okay. And what about the idea to put a few parking spots on the road there?
I believe we're still talking with the master planning people. We met with them yesterday, and I let them know that we were keeping the playground where it is, so we wouldn't be converting that into pickleball, but we needed to find another location on that site for additional pickleball, so they're working on that, and they're working on additional parking.
Okay.
For up top or down below?
Yeah.
Gotta have those pickleballs. All right, thank you.
Yep.
Anything else? Go to the order. Anybody got anything for the order? No? All right. I'm going to make a motion. All right, with no further business before the commission, the meeting is adjourned at 7:48.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.